Denny Bryce is the best-selling, award-winning author of 3 novels, The Other Princess, A Face in the Sun, and Wild Women and the Blues. She is also an NPR book critic, an adjunct professor at Drexel University, and a freelance writer who has written for Harper's Bazaar and USA Today. She'll be appearing with her co-author, Eliza Knight, Sunday, April 7th at Oxford Exchange, but she's joining me now live on Tampa Bay Reads to talk about her new book, Can't We Be Friends? Hi, Denny. Thanks for being with us.
Hi. Hi, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here and also very excited to talk about this book.
So tell us about how Can't We Be Friends came to be.
Well, actually, Eliza Knight and I used to live in the same town, and we had this habit of getting together once a month to have a write-in. And many of our write-ins ended up with us scouring, the internet, looking at things, and as we enjoyed a glass of wine, and we stumbled upon a photo of Ella Fitzgerald and Marilyn Monroe in a very casual, party setting, and under it, it said they were friends. And so we're like, I didn't know that. Neither one of us knew this. So we started investigating, and the research led us to our book.
So that leads me to my next question. This is fiction, but is it based on fact? I mean, did you do the research and find out interesting little details of their relationship?
Absolutely. We dug deep on the research. Although Ella was quite a private person, there was nonetheless a lot of information out there for us to dive into. Of course, Marilyn's story has been told, and Eliza was able to dig through some of the inconsistencies, if you will, in her story, as I was able to find some fabulous facts in Ella's story. But one of the things that we found, among other things, was a contract that Ella and Marilyn had written up for a Friends album. That was the name of it. Yeah, and that was quite a find. It definitely helped us confirm that our research was definitely going in the right direction.
That they spend a lot of time together. And we learn more about these legends as really human beings, right? With personal problems, just like all of us have. Did you enjoy bringing that out?
Well, what we also enjoyed, not only the problems, but their dedication to perfectionism, to their careers, to their growth in their careers as women, as they tried to balance personal relationships, husbands, children, illness, all sorts of things that are just what every human being has to go through and experience. Everything is not just as it might seem on a movie screen. Right. So that was enjoyable too, to just find out how hard they worked to be as good as they both were.
I've heard you say, Denny, that their friendship really wasn't talked about a lot. Why? And do you think it made it harder to do the research?
It was challenging, but also keep in mind the time period, 1950s. There was no internet. There was no social media. The biggest social society writer was a columnist by the name of Walter Winchell. And he was as interested in what was happening in the Black community among Black entertainers as he was about, white entertainers. So our resources included Jet Magazine to really dive into Ella, but also with Marilyn and Ella's friendship, it wasn't something that either one of their managers would say, let's do a big article about them hanging out. That was, again, the 1950s, and racial relationships, interracial friendships were just not a part of the public consumption, if you will, that they could count on being readily accepted.
Well, Denny, it's a great idea and a great book, and thank you for joining us. I'm going to tell people now how they can meet you in person, you and your co-author, this Sunday at Oxford Exchange. Thanks. You can talk with Denny and Eliza Knight at Oxford Exchange Sunday, April 7th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. For tickets, go to oxfordexchange.com/calendar.